I'm Sandy Schreck for LBR Educates, and today we want to introduce you to our new 2026 color stories. So we have 7 different color stories that we are showing, and it's based on what's happening in the floral world. So we know that influences come from all over and social media, and so our first one we're going to introduce you to is called Showgirl. So everybody kind of knows that reference, and you can see what a fun color combination this really brings. So today we're going to be looking at creating this modern vase design, and let's take a look at how that's done. All right, so today we're going to be starting off with some alternative mechanics. And we know that lower presence has become more popular. So I'm actually using a recycled lily bowl here today, and we're going to use some sustainable mechanics. To start off with, I'm going to use some of the aluminum wire, and we're just going to twist an end so it eliminates a sharp end. And then I'm just going to come in and create some loops with my finger to be able to poke flowers through. And so this is going to become my mechanic within this vase. And I'll just cut this off. And then twist that sharp end again. So you can see the wires just wrap randomly. And then what we'll do is come in and just wrap it around the Italian ruscus like one time, and then we're going to start just winding that Italian ruscus in. And then I'm going to take a piece of bind wire that I've pre-cut, and I'm going to come in and just do one tie here and secure that loop of the Italian ruscus. Can easily hide that mechanic. And then I'm going to come in, and now I'm going to use my aluminum wire to kind of pull it together. So to pull it in place, and you want to have it so that some is going to be sticking out at the end, but you just take your coils and have them come in, and you can see you're going to be able to put your flowers through some of those loops and be able to have it help to control your placement without a ton of mechanics. So to start off with, we have the Free Spirit Rose, and the Showgirl has lots of tints, tones, and shades in. You can see within this Free Spirit Rose, we have those pink shades, and then all the way into like the tangerine shades. And so it's a great rose that represents that showgirl style. And we know that it's one of the workhorse roses. And as I'm going here, what I'm doing is paying attention to the insertions all going in the same direction. And so we have the stems directionalized within this composition. And so you can see that it'll come together. And so I'm starting with some of the larger flowers and the stronger stems, and just finding those loops that we created with that wire to be able to utilize for placement. That one doesn't want to stand up. All right, so there you can kind of see our start a little bit. Let's get this guy to move over a little bit more. And so then we're just going to keep coming in with some of the other colors. I'm going to go to a little bit richer color that you see coming in on the stock. And for value-wise, I'm going to repeat it with the carnation color. And this really kind of helps me to get a base structure and bring that long-lasting element in Carnations have a great lasting ability and really beautiful color combinations. And you can see now just adding that rich dark color in that magenta tone, how that really starts to pop this. And then just adding a contrasting shape. So everything I have right now is sort of round. And then I'm going to come in with the stock that's a little bit more of a line flower and a little bit more elongated. And it just gives some visual interest to this and helps to kind of add that directional quality that we have. And then some of the spray roses in that really deep, rich orange color coming in will really enhance this design. I like a spray rose because it has that number of, it increases the number of roses that the customers equate with value. And then we have a couple other specialty flowers, and so I'm going to put those in last so that they have a position of dominance. And here I've got some Lembush grown gerbs that also have those a couple different tones in them that help to pull all of those different colorations that we see in the Free Spirit Rose. Just coming back and having those be repeated in that same coloration. Got a few of the premium Lysianthus that we're going to add in, and so this adds that richer color again, so you can see just how that really pops it, adding another level of like a jewel tone. We're going to see a lot of color coming on and in florals, and we're definitely going to be able to have some fun with textures. Okay, missed there. There we go. And then a couple of the scoops. And these just add some visual interest on the top. And just like a showgirl, you always need a dancer up on top. And so I like to add those scoops on top for a customer. They last a really long time and develop. And so at this point here, they're pretty tight, but they definitely become part of the showgirl presentation. So now in through the middle, I have a negative space, and you can see a little bit of that reflective quality that comes in through the wire from the wire, and really simple mechanics using that piece of ruscus as that. But this is a way to create a little bit different modern design that will add a lot of interest to your customers. And then make sure and talk about those new color trends that we're seeing and think about it. And so this is Showgirl, presented by Lembush Roses.